Hi everybody! So the Windwall, it was inspired by something done by New York City designer Joe Doucette. He did this whole series of drawings of various rotating bits of this and that generated electricity, and it inspired me to build a couple of Windwall copies, and they're now on the Omnibus channel, and I'll add links to them at the end of this video, so if you're interested in how I went around building those, then jump over there and have a look. But along with that, there's also something called the wind catcher. A wind catcher is an array of smaller turbines to replace one big turbine, and it is reportedly much more efficient. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't even know if Joe's stuff really works, but I don't care particularly, because to me efficiency is not the thing that it's about. I mean, everybody claims efficiency, but if you think about it, something like photosynthesis, it's only about 10 or 11% efficient at maximum. So based on that argument, we're wasting his time growing food, and we might as well all just starve to death. There is always more to it than simple efficiency. One of the things I think that there is to it is the ability to do it yourself, and quite possibly from recycled materials and stuff you find around, as well as more complicated build if you happen to have the tools and the tool set and the experience of doing such things. But I think it's something that's widely adaptable to lots of people, and even if it's not terribly efficient, it's better than nothing. After all, plants with their terrible efficiency cover the entire planet. So in my never-ending quest to make the ideal wind turbine, I've come across one of these. Now when I say ideal wind turbine, I don't mean the perfect wind turbine that is going to power the city of London on something like that. What I mean is something that can pay back the energy for the amount of cost and effort you put in it. And of course I'm really interested in available materials, something that loads of people can do. So why a tower fan? Well, it is a testament to our disposable society. It's summer. These things sound like hotcakes in the summer, and do you know they're only about £30? Come the end of the summer, you'll find that they're broken, and you get a load of these in the bin that you can just actually pick off, and it is heaving with bits. So we're going to give it a go turning this into a wind generator. So of course, first things first, take it apart. Taking apart is always the same routine. See a screw? Undo it. So when you get the top off, that's what you'll see. That's the rotor there. Now of course it spins, chucking out air. And I'm working on the idea that these things are reversible. So if it spins and chucks out air, if I point air at it, it should spin. So there's the rotor bit there. Then we've got some speed control electronics there, which is as much used to as a chocolate teapot. It's got an induction motor right there, which is a real shame, and there's a turntable motor right there, which is the bit that makes it jiggle backwards and forwards. Anyway, let's get this bit to pieces. So once we get the case removed, this is what we get. There's the rotor itself attached to an induction motor with a bit of wobble, and we have a top bearing that came out of there as well. There's a bunch of nice little push button switches, and here's cute. It's a 2-hour clockwork timer switch. So you twist it right the way around, unwinds over 2 hours, and then opens that switch, which was awesome, to be honest. There's the turntable motor with this little crank on it, but it's of course with this project, that's the heart of what we want. The other stuff I'm going to put away for a future day because it's full of stuff. I mean, there's a cable with a socket with a plug on it, and those switches and motors that we're putting to one side are probably 10 quid, 15 quid's worth of gear. Remember, this thing only cost 30 quid, and we've salvaged at least 10 quid out of it. This stuff, obviously, for this project is what we're interested in, so let's have a better look at that. So now we've got the motor apart, you can see that it's just an 8-pole induction motor. There's the rotor, and that's the squirrel cage, and there's the stator with its 8 poles. There's a couple of end plates with the bearings in it. Now, you can turn these into generators by drilling down and gluing magnets in there, and then you could stick the whole thing back together. Okay, so to test this thing, I've bolted a stepper motor onto it. Now this is a little stepper motor. It's a 17HS08 104S. I had a quick look on eBay for it, and get those for about £2 each, which is ridiculous. Now it doesn't have much torque on it, so it'll turn really easily. If we pop the top bearing on and put some wind on that, we'll get it to do something. Now I've got a little LED right there. We'll put the hairdryer on it and we'll see it light up that LED. Now, an LED is not the best thing. What's really quite cool, actually, these little things. It's a 6-volt bulb. Now, it's a pure resistive load, and so you can get it to light, and it'll tell you what the voltage and the ampage in going through a resistive load. An LED, you can see it working, which is brilliant. This will barely light that. It lights it, and it's about 150 milliwatts, or something like that it'll produce at that wind speed. It's around about 7 meters per second, incidentally. So we can make these things really, really simply just by extracting the rotor out of a broken fan and bolting on a 2-pound motor, and you've got yourself a generator. Now, by itself, I don't think it's particularly great, but if you had a whole rack of these, of course, you've got yourself a really easily made wind wall, and that would be the advantage of something like this. You can buy the rotors independently. They're called a crossflow or a tangential fan rotor, and you can buy those off somewhere like AliExpress for about £8 each if you want. Me personally, I'll just wait to collect a few from the broken fans that I'm going to find lying around. Anyway, that is a super simple way to make a wind wall from some stuff that you're just going to find broken. Keep your eyes open, collect a few, and you'll have yourself a wind wall. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and please do remember to like and subscribe.